Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this video, we are going to discuss one important topic from physical anthropology, and this topic is from chapter 9, where UPSC will be asking repeatedly very high number of questions from this 9th chapter. It is nothing but genetics. The topic that we are going to discuss in this class is genetic effects of consanguineous marriages. And this is one of the important and repeated question from UPSC Anthropology optional point of view. So to understand this topic, first of all, we need to understand what is this consanguineous marriages. What is the meaning of this consanguinity? So this word had been derived from two words, con plus sanguineous. Con plus sanguineous is nothing but sanguineous is blood, con means same. That means whenever the marriages which happens within the same bloodline, those marriages are called as consanguineous marriages. So what are the examples of this? We have uncle-niece marriage. Uncle-niece marriage is one example of consanguineous marriage. And next one is cousin marriage. In this again we have two types of cousins. One is parallel cousin. Next one is cross cousin. So these are the best examples of consanguineous marriages. Uncle-niece marriage and cross cousin or parallel cousin marriages. I'll tell what exactly is this parallel and what exactly is this cross. I will draw one diagram. See here, normally triangles represent male and circles represent female. Father, mother. And marriage is represented in these two lines, equal to symbol normally represents marriages. And this line represents next generation. And next one, I am taking one person. It may be like daughter or a son. And this person is ego. Ego is nothing but from that person we will be seeing the relation. Okay, father, mother and next generation. And to this person, we are going to see who are the parallel cousins and who are the cross cousins. So here mother, sister, same generation. And he is mother, sister's husband. And I am taking mother's brother wife. Okay, and they belongs to same generation. Okay, for this the next generation, I am taking boy, girl, and for this couple, boy, girl. Okay, and let us draw same from this father side also. Father's brother, she is father's brother's wife. Father's sister, father's sister's husband, and they belongs to same generation. Okay, for this couple, boy, girl, for this couple, boy and a girl. Who are parallel cousins and who are cross cousins? Okay, I am changing the color of pen, and here father is male and father's brother. Okay, whenever we are taking parents, I'll write here clearly, whenever we are taking parents of same sex or same gender, they will become parallel. And whenever you are taking parents and now we are taking opposite gender, they are cross. Okay, so here if you take mother's same sex sibling is mother's sisters kids will be parallel. I'll change one more color pen. For this ego, this will form parallel cousins. from mother side. Okay. For this ego, father's brother's kids will become parallel cousins. Okay. I am changing again the color of pen to pink, and for this ego, here is mother and here is mother's brother. Mother is female, brother is male. So we have opposite genders. Then this generation cousins will be cross cousins. And here father is male, father sister is female. For this person, this cousins will be cross cousins. Cross cousins. Here green color is parallel cousins. From father side, if you take relatives, normally they are called as paternal. Okay, and from mother side, if you take relatives, which is the word we'll use? Maternal. Okay, if this guy, if he is marrying parallel cousins from mother side, what is it called? Maternal parallel cousin marriage. If this guy is marrying this parallel cousins from father side, it is called as paternal parallel cousin marriage. If this ego, if he is marrying cross cousins from mother side, then they are called as maternal cross cousin marriage. If this guy marries cross cousin from father side, it is called as paternal cross cousin marriage. So these are the examples of what? Cross cousins and as well as parallel cousin marriage. Overall, it is nothing but cousin marriage. And now I'll draw one more diagram to show uncle-niece marriage. Father, triangle, mother, symbol. For this, there is a daughter. Daughter is now ego. Okay. And mother has a brother. Okay. I am writing here mother's brother. If there is marriage between this ego and mother's brother, this kind of marriage is uncle-niece marriage. Normally in the South India, we can see cross-cousin marriages and uncle-niece marriages. So these are the examples of consanguineous marriages. I hope you understood what exactly this consanguinity is. Now, how many types of cousin marriages are there? As I said, we have maternal and paternal. Maternal side parallel cousin marriage can happen. Yes, paternal side cousin marriages can happen. In that cousin, we have parallel cousins and as well as cross cousins. So here we have two types: parallel cousin marriage from father side, parallel cousin marriage from mother side. And cross cousins also we have from father side and from mother side. Clear? So these are the different types of consanguineous marriages. Why, if you're going with this consanguineous marriages, why there is a high rate of genetic disorders? Or according to genetics, what happens if you're going for this consanguineous marriages for generation? You have to know this. I'll say clearly and I'll draw a flow chart to make you understand clearly what will be the impact of going for this consanguineous marriages. Before that, if you go for counseling related to pregnancy or even after the pregnancy, if you're going for the visit for the first time to your doctor, the first question they will ask you is whether you went for any consanguineous marriage or not. It is not consanguineous, or if it is a consanguineous marriage or not. If it is a consanguineous marriages, they will try to provide more folic acid supplements, especially in this early pregnancy till 3rd month of pregnancy. Why? Because there will be a high rate of chance of genetic disorders in the baby if they are going for consanguineous marriages. So doctor has to treat that pregnant woman with a special care and she has to monitor for the genetic disorders. So for that reason, they will be taking data whether you went for consanguineous marriage or not. So now let us see according to genetics, what happens if you are going for consanguineous marriage. Let us take father, mother, and there is next generation. From father, what happens? 50% of genes will be transferred to the next generation, and from mother again 50% of genes will be transferred to the child. Yes, is that clear? For the child, 50% of genes will come from father and 50% of genes will come from mother. Okay, let us take, we have mother's brother. Mother's brother here. Okay, so they are from your grandfather and grandmother. Here we have grandfather, here we have grandmother, here we have your mother, mother brother. They will be also getting 50% of genes from their grandfather, and your mother brother will also get 50% of the genes shared. That means your mother and your mother brother will be sharing almost same genes. And after marriage, if they are giving birth to next generation, father genes again 50% will be transferred to the next generation, and for mother, from mother 50% of genes will be transferred to next generation. So if these two people, if they are getting married, then what happened? They have similar genes. They have similar genes which are getting from the mother, and this guy will be getting from mother's brother. So because of this, many a times recessive genes can be expressed in next generation. Whatever the next generation they are going to give the birth, in that next generation what happened? Recessive genes will be expressed because of homozygosity. Because of homozygosity, recessive genes will be expressed. Because of these recessive genes, there may be genetic disorders or genetic diseases can be seen in this next generation. So because of this, mostly we can say that consanguineous marriages lead to expression of recessive genes, or it will create homozygosity. Because of this, genetic disorders can be seen. I will give you one example to make you more understand. Okay, let us take the first generation. Generation 1. I think in your +2 you might have came across this Mendelian genetics. We have phenotype and genotype. That I will be discussing in detail in our classes. But as of now, remember that we have, for every gene, we have dominant and we have recessive. Dominant allele is represented by capital letter and recessive allele is represented by small letter. Let us take, this is dominant allele, married a person who is having a carrier, small a or capital A, or else you can take small a like that. And the next generation will be having the possibility of, from here we have A, from here we have A, cross capital A, small a. So next generation can have the possibility of capital A, small a, capital A, capital A. Next one is capital A, small a. So if you are having both capital A, what happened? They are normal. If you are having capital A, small a, they are called as carriers. These concepts you will understand very clearly if you join our course, which is going to be started from August 3rd onwards, guys. Okay, and I'll be dealing everything from basics. Even if you're not from science background, even if you're from other background like mathematics, engineering, arts, you will understand my classes thoroughly because I'll be showing lots of videos, lots of images. Okay, next one is small a means recessive, guys. Okay, for example, let us take in the next generation, these two guys got married. This is first generation, this is second generation. So what is the possibility of next generation? Capital A, capital A, small a. Next one is capital A, small a. So this person is affected person. So if we have capital A or small a, we have same allele. That means homozygous. If you're having capital A, small, it is different, right? So it is called as heterozygous. Okay, now let us take these two have been married in the next generation. Then what is the chance of getting capital A, small a, small a, small a, small a, small a, and small a, small a. So 75% of the next generation will be having what? Recessive genes. Are you understanding? So that will leads to homozygosity. Okay, capital A, small a, if we have two different alleles, it is called as heterozygous. It may be it may be small a, or it may be capital A, it is called as homozygous condition. If we have two recessive alleles, means that will be having a high chance of getting genetic disorder. So if you see in generation 1, in generation 2, in generation 3, so if they are going for this kind of marriages within the same bloodline, there may be a chance of expression of homozygous genes. And if these two went for marriage, small a, then what happened? 100% of next generation will be having only AA. Head homozygous condition will be there, and there is a chance of expression of the recessive genes. Okay, so this is the mechanism that you have to remember, and you will learn all these things as part of Mendelian genetics, where I'll teach what is capital A, what is small a, what is allele, what is dominant, what is like recessive. Everything we'll discuss from in detail and in depth. Okay, I'll take entirely one class on that, which will be around 2.5 hours. So this is about what is the genetic behind it. And now let us see what is the effect. The first one, there is increased homozygosity. Yes, I showed you AA recessive genes will be expressed more. Because of this, what happened? There will be more genetic disorders in the next generation. And next one is, can we see any change? There will be very less change. Like grandmother, we can see next generation, like father, next generation, like that. We will not see many changes or variation in the next generation. And next one is, there will be higher disease burden because of genetic disorders. Genetic diseases can be seen more because of this consanguineous marriage. That is the first important effect. And next one is, obviously there is reduced heterozygosity. Okay, after this cross cousin or parallel cousin marriage or uncle niece marriage for the generation together, there is very less variation, and because of that less variation, they cannot adapt properly to the environment. That will lead to reduced adaptability. And next one is lower evolutionary fitness. So if they are not adapting to the situation or environment, then what happens? They will be getting wiped out. So actually Darwin came up with a theory called as natural selection theory. So what this natural selection theory says, if the organism, if that living being, if it is adapting more to the environment, there will be higher survival chances. If that organism is not able to adapt to the environment readily, then what happens? It will wipe out, because only the fittest will survive in the environment. That is a theory given by Charles Darwin. So here, if there is reduced adaptability, obviously what happened? They will be not fit. This is causing this lower evolutionary fitness. Because of this, entire the generation can be wiped out. Okay, next one is expression of recessive genes or disorders. So what happened? Whatever the hidden genes are there, whenever they are going for marrying in that generation together, generation after generation after generation, these recessive characters will become more visible. So because of this, what happened? Genetic disorders can be seen in the new generation. For example, we have genetic disorders like thalassemia, sickle cell disease, phenylketonuria, congenital deafness, spinal muscular atrophy, cystic fibrosis. These are the diseases commonly seen. Especially cystic fibrosis is seen in European population if they go for consanguineous marriages. And next important effect is inbreeding depression. What happens? That generation, new generation with this recessive genes or with homozygosity, they will be having less biological fitness. So this concept is called as inbreeding depression. There is reduction of biological fitness due to inbreeding. Whenever they are going for breeding between the generation, between the same bloodline, then what happens? Obviously, that will lead to depression. They will be not having proper fitness. Because of this, what happens? There will be increased mortality, increased birth defects, miscarriages in women, especially in pregnant women. There is low fertility rate, low immunity rate, and even we can see developmental disorders in the next generation. This is one more effect. And next important one is increased genetic load. So what is the meaning of increased genetic load? It is nothing but whatever the genetic disorders, seen in one generation, generation 1, it will be passed on to generation 2 and will be passed on to generation 3. So here from one generation to another generation, there is increased load of genetic disorder burden. So this concept is called as genetic load. Because of this consanguineous marriages, what happens? There will be increased genetic load. Okay, now let us see what are the advantages of going with this kind of consanguineous marriage. So I'm not only dealing with the negatives, I am also telling about the positives. Why? Because in your anthropology, the questions will be like somewhat typical, especially in the first question, which is compulsory. Just they will give the words and they will ask you to write 150 words on that, and you can take liberty of writing whatever you know. So in that context, even you have to write positives of that so and so thing also, right? So here the positives are, if you're going for marriages within the same bloodline, obviously we can improve the family ties. And this one is property remains with family. We are not going to give that property or sharing that property with another new family. And this one is we will be having known spouse. Yes, we know about their character, how they will be, how they react, what they eat, how is their lifestyle, everything we know. Accordingly, we can manage the things. And next one is we'll get for sure family support. And obviously, if you're giving our daughter or son, if you're giving our daughter to like uncle or like in the family itself, then what happened? Obviously, we'll give less amount of dowry, bride price, etc. So the overall cost for marriage will be reduced. And next one is we can continue our culture. We can make our children to learn our culture. That process is called as enculturation. So these are the advantages of going with this consanguineous marriages. And next, what are the disadvantages related to genetics? Based on the science, yes, we have genes that will be transferred from parents to the next generation. This is called as inheritance. Because of this, we can see genetic problems like birth defects, infant mortality, congenital disorders. As I said, there may be reduced fertility, inbreeding depression, genetic diversity will be reduced, and even recessive disorders or diseases can be increased in next generation. So how can we prevent this? Yes, we can prevent this. We can go for genetic counseling. Especially nowadays, there is rise of infertility centers. For example, you might have heard about test tube baby centers. Yes. So in that kind of centers, if you say that yes, we went for consanguineous marriages, first step they will do here is genetic counseling. So this can happen. These are the chances. These are the choices you have. So decide. So like that, they will be giving you genetic counseling. And next one is carrier screening. We can screen for the diseases. Are we carrying any genetic disorders? Whether you are carrier or whether you are affected or whether you are a normal person. So they can screen that. And next one is premarital counseling. So before marriage also we can go for counseling in that centers. And next one is prenatal diagnosis. It is very important. Okay, I'll tell you a story. Even I did that. In our classes, I will be sharing lots of stories. They are real stories. I'll tell you one of my story. Okay. I became pregnant in 2019. And unfortunately, I had intercaste marriage. I didn't go for any consanguineous marriage. I had intercaste marriage. My husband is one caste and I belongs to one caste. And I became pregnant in 2019. Unfortunately, after 5 months, I came to know that my baby is having a genetic disease and there is no cure for that. That is Down syndrome. And I'll be discussing this. Down syndrome is nothing but there is one extra chromosome at number 21 that is called as triplex. Okay. So actually what happened? There is no choice for me. I went for abortion. And even I got counseling from 2 or 3 doctors, child specialists, and finally they convinced me that yes, you can go for abortion. Finally, they aborted. And second time, I became pregnant with twins in year 2022. In 22, I got pregnant. And again, I have a same doubt. What happens if my babies are having this kind of genetic diseases? If they have genetic disease, this time I can't bear. Because at that time itself, I went into depression for more than 6 months. But this time, I don't want that. Also, I talked to my gynecologist and my gynecologist suggested one test called as NIPT. Okay, this is very expensive test. Actually, what they'll do in this test is they will draw the blood from mother. They drawn blood from both of my hands. That to 10 ml blood they took. And from that blood, what they'll do here is they will isolate my DNA and my kid's DNA. Why? Because after 5 months, whatever the waste which is generated by the baby will be removed by the mother's kidney itself. So the waste of the baby will be there in my blood. So they took my blood and they isolated the DNA fragments of my kids, and now they arrange all these chromosomes, chromosome number 1 to chromosome number 23 in an order, and they saw like whether there is any missing of chromosome or whether there is any addition of chromosome, and they gave report of 2 kids separately, but they didn't reveal the gender. I'm saying that because revealing gender is illegal in our country. So they said they gave complete chromosome numbers of my kids separately. Okay, so in that way, if you're going for that kind of high-end genetic test before the delivery is done, we can identify whether the babies are carrying any genetic disease or not. So that is called as prenatal diagnosis, but this test is somewhat costly. So for one baby, it is around, I paid 24,000. For 2 babies, I paid around 48,000 for the test, and we sent that samples to America. Okay, like that we have nowadays high-end test we can do and we can analyze what exactly the condition of baby. Okay, that is one kind of prevention. If the baby is having the severe disease, obviously we have to go for abortion. And our doctor will be advising what is the step. And next one is newborn screening we can do. Yes, and before this we went for one more test. Normally if there is any genetic abnormality in the baby, we can see the fingers will be abnormal, or even the nose bone we can calculate, and even NT test, nuchal translucent test, which will be measuring the water under the neck. So if that level is more or less, again that is a sign of genetic disorder, and even the nose bone will be not found if there is any genetic disorder of a baby is. I'll be telling lot of this kind of real-time examples in our class. Okay, so like that even we can identify this kind of abnormalities in the baby based on the spinal cord, based on the number of fingers for hands and as well as legs, and even NT test we can do. And I'll tell clearly like in which month which kind of test we have to do. And next one is community awareness is also very important so that we can prevent this kind of genetic disorders by stopping consanguineous marriages. So these are some preventive steps we can take. Okay, so this is about this topic. I hope you understood this topic clearly. In the same way, I will be dealing with paper 1 and paper 2, each and every subtopic which is present in your syllabus. And in my course, I will be giving even PYQs from 1985 onwards, that too topic wise, so that you can understand which topic is important and which topic you can take light. And even I'll be giving you the blueprint. Blueprint is nothing but from 2013 onwards, in which year, from which topic the question had been asked and how many marks. Based on that, you can expect in next year anthropology paper which questions can be given. And each and every complex topic I will be dealing very simply, and I will be teaching from basic onwards, and I will be giving you the notes in the class. In that notes, I will be majorly focusing on flowcharts as well as diagrams, and also I'll be giving you value addition content from current affairs, because I'm teaching current affairs from 2019 onwards, and I'm a doctor and I'm a gold medalist, guys. I'll be teaching this biology part in a very simple way by showing images, by showing videos, so that you can understand each and every concept from the 100% conceptual clarity and with depth, guys. Okay, and I will be giving even material for for paper 1 and paper 2 separately also, so that you can completely rely on my notes, guys. And even as part of this course, every day I will be giving you one mains question, and you'll be writing that question and I will be correcting your answers. On every Saturday there will be a revision test, and the course duration is for 3.5 months, and every day you will be having 2 to 2.5 hours of class only in the evening time, guys. And if you are purchasing this course on online, you will be getting live plus recorded. If you're purchasing this course on offline, you will be coming and sitting in the class, but after once course is done, we will be giving you the online access of the recorded class. So these are the facilities we are providing, guys, and this course is going to be started from August 3rd onwards. And try to join this course. Already admissions are going on. Try to join as soon as possible, guys, and I wish you all the best. I'm going to see you in your class.